Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am a very sick Mork Zero tonight, joined for the first time in forever by Stallord and Toxic Troublemaker in no specific order.
Hello.
In the same stream at once.
It's a miracle. Thank you, based DE. Or whatever. So, 2 weeks ago, was it? Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, right? I can't remember.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on.
No, it's on. I'm looking at it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago was the last one we had, when it was just you and I kind of awkwardly trying to fill that dead space with air.
Without
That's my
Toxic
fault.
Troublemaker, it just wasn't the same. But nah,
Especially due to the fact that I was streaming it, but whatever. Anyway, we're all here now. Everything's
All here.
good.
we're all here and we're
Kind
here
of a fresh
to
start.
And we're here to discuss the latest update to Warframe, patch 17.5, the Jordas Precept. Did not have as much as I kind of hoped in some respects, but in others it was actually kind of revealing. And hold, let me pop this up real fast, because I'm about to talk about what I consider to be the biggest revelation about all of this. The infestation is intelligent.
Yeah, called it.
Indeed.
Not that it was, particularly secret, but
No.
hey,
Didn't we already know
In
that?
hindsight, they basically tell you that during Once Awake, when it goes all, the infestation is more organized than whatever she said. I can't remember the exact quote.
yeah, exactly.
Did I just
And
hear
like
the snake?
the whole thing didn't. A snake.
Yeah, you saw a snake. Wham! When you get spotted in Metal Gear.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that was that's my phone alert.
That is awesome.
um.
Yeah, what were we saying?
The whole Jordas Precept thing didn't really add a whole lot new, but it definitely like confirmed and strengthened a lot of theories, and I definitely think it strengthens the whole theory that not Tenno, but Warframes are made of infestation to a certain extent.
Aye, very much so.
Another thing that was really interesting was the whole premise of the entire quest as a whole. The infestation set up a trap for the Tenno.
And yeah, that's what got me about it. That
Yeah.
was the whole intelligence of the infestation. This isn't just instinct, consuming, growing, whatever. These aren't just zombies. This is an actual hive mind. This is a cunning, intelligent creature. I was talking about it with Nicodemus the Man in a relay one day, and the way I described it, that the way it seemed to present itself, because unlike your Gravemind, unlike your Overmind characters, it very much seemed to identify itself as a collective, as all these things in unison, whereas the Gravemind and Overmind, they were these single entities that had, like, the rest of the Flood or the Zerg gathered around it. But with the infestation, as it talks...
Did you ever play System Shock 2?
No, I
Never
did
heard of
not. I heard a
What?
comparison. I've never played any of those games. I'm a very
Oh my god.
nub gamer.
Okay,
here.
well anyway, the
Jared,
whole
yes.
the hive mind in that is called the many, and it's definitely a whole lot like the infestation,
Yeah, I heard.
and it's very comparable.
Yeah, I don't know that much about it. If you could go into more detail, I saw someone compare it to that. Let me try to get a bit of a Google search up here for System Shock the Many. But if you want to go ahead and talk about that, if you can.
Well, it's pretty much just this. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think of the way the many works is it's a synthetic creation by a scientist of some sort, and it was designed as a weapon, and it developed sentience and rebelled against its creators, and it is very like smart and intelligent, and it tries to bargain and communicate with the player, and it has the whole idea that I linked it in chat, but you have it right there too. Yeah. It's the whole idea that becoming part of one is better than being outside of it, and it kind of does something that I think would be a cool twist in Warframe, where that the people who are assimilated aren't completely assimilated. like their bodies are moving against their will, but their minds are still complete, which I think would be a creepy and disturbing twist for the infestation.
Hmm.
But that's not confirmed in any way, shape, or form. So
No, very much the sort of, and all that, very much the sort of feeling I got from the infestation, which I'm going to be furthermore addressing as a singular, quote-unquote, singular character here, was that the infestation had all of these minds and whatnots in it that were kind of pushed to the sort of the same thought pattern. All these minds, all these ideas, thinking and plotting and wanting and feeling in unison the same things, while it has all those individual bodies of the people it's assimilated, able to direct them as individual creatures.
Like
yeah, exactly.
Lefantis and Forward.
Is that
Yeah.
exactly what the many is, or does what you kind of described was
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. So, yeah, there's definitely, so yeah, I had no idea. I've seen that mentioned before, so that definitely does seem to be.
So we can't
connected.
really call the like Forward and Lefantis or J3 Golem. We can't really call them leaders of the infestation. Is what you're saying?
I don't think so. There are
No.
people that will argue that point. Again, going back to the grave mind sort of idea that there are these pockets of more advanced infestation that have evolved over time, which also brings me to my second point that one could maybe try to argue that's what's going on here. But the thing is that the Mutalisk infestation is what recently allowed for Jordas to become what he is. He may have been derelict for centuries, but Alan V's work is what allows the infestation to infest machines. So it's whatever's happened to him is fairly recent. It's fairly quote unquote young, as infestation standards go. So
Well, actually, he wasn't really derelict for centuries.
really,
The infestation took over. If you looked at it's from
It's a
Runner
isn't there-
synthesis.
Yeah, I read that too, and I thought it was, I think, at the time. But isn't one of Ordis's quotes at the end saying...
Yeah, he says being adrift for centuries laid adrift for centuries must have had some effect on his mind. All cephalons degrade eventually, isn't that right, operator?
Yeah, that's the quote.
I think I contradicted themselves because in that synthesis entry, it's saying as if it just happened. Like,
Yeah, and that is
Just
a touch
got-
of, that
See,
is a bit of a problem. I'm not sure why they would have done that. Maybe it's a miscommunication. Or
You know what
perhaps...
I think it was? I think it was just that Ordis thought that he was derelict. He didn't know the infestation could take over cephalons yet. So
Isn't
he's
it-
like, oh, he's kind of seems a little off the rails, so it must just be dereliction. God.
Doesn't that quote come at the end
or
after
he.
you've beaten the golem, though? Or is that quote
I
from...
haven't finished the quest honestly. Like I just did the first part and then the second part, or the first part in the end. That's it.
If I
'Cause I
remember
just
right,
went
he
to
says it
get
like
Atlas.
really early on.
Hmm.
Like right after you, he says to go get the Feralac. I can't remember for sure though.
Yeah, I wouldn't know because I haven't gotten the Furlac yet.
Verliak. Wonderful. I also just love the voice that the infestation has. It's deliciously evil.
Yeah.
I love the modulation on Jordas. It's like so sharp and bitey. It's awesome.
There was a
then
post
there's
in the
the-
forums that actually kind of turned that up to 11 once, and I really liked how that sounded. But yeah, it's
Then
great.
there's
and-
the sexual innuendo you can get from some of those lines.
Get into position.
Yes.
And that actually is a good point about why I really like Jordas as a thing, because this... Sorry. The whole Jordas Cephalon thing, because there's definitely a separation between Jordas the Cephalon and the infestation speaking, using it as its voice. It's a very kind of clear-cut that there are two things fighting there for control. Jordas is obviously losing, but he's still got bits enough of himself. For example, the whole line where he goes with the infestation, with infestations like "Stop hurting me," and Jordas says, "No, keep fighting." And so that
Don't kill me. Wait, please do.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that for me that helps kind of move past any kind of issue that we might have had if like Alan V was saying these lines, where it might have just been, oh, it's just Alan talking, it's just Ford talking, it's just Fantas talking. This is very
Actually,
clearly...
when they were trying to do the same effect with Alan V when they did that, but they didn't really get it right. Like he was getting corrupted. They didn't really express that enough. They expressed that a lot better with Jordas.
Yes, and again, and Alan V, while we're on him, again, that's, to me, that supports the idea that the infestation robs you of sort of your own things and makes your individual mind just want and think and everything like the rest of the infestation. Alan's whole struggling at the I's and the me's and that thing, while the we's and us's became so very crisp and flowing whenever he spoke during Patient Zero. Which makes me wonder what happened to him during the Tube Minute.
He's alive. PC version, he gets his cure. I think it was Xbox that did it for Nathaniel instead.
Nice.
Good job, Xbox.
I think it was Xbox. I'm not sure though.
You've done well, Xbox. But yeah, and that is sort of questioning. I do sort of wonder how they're going to sort of resolve that split between the things, or honestly, even when
the way I think they're gonna
the Two-Man event was kind of takes place chronologically, which is a kind of a problem with the events as they go. Almost don't really exactly.
What do you mean? What's your problem with the chronological?
Well,
chronologically,
Alan
I can't say it.
Yeah, does the Tube-Man of Regor, that whole event, come after what the Patient Zero? After all of that, after we faced him and killed him, this thing?
Yes.
Does it?
Yes.
Is there like something that says that, or?
Well, it literally came after it.
Well, yeah, but that's sort of like saying,
and he was. Think about it this way: when we faced regular Alad, it said we killed him then too, but then he turned into Mulus, and think about it that way.
And there were things, but there's a kind of a clear-cut chronological thing there with Alad going during the suspicious shipments. You thought I was dead? No.
Yeah.
And all that. Whereas...
I don't think Alad or any bosses die canonically yet. Like, I think the only like canon death of anyone might be the raid Vahek, because like how would they
die.
be?
No, he got away.
Well, he dies if you beat him in Nightmare, I thought.
It's either he did actually get away in the Nightmare one, or it's just the animation playing out again, and then that other cutscene that happens is what actually happened. But whatever, could be just a design flaw.
Yeah. Exactly. The whole thing I think is that they're not gonna like kill all like the bosses in like main storyline lore, because I mean if they died after their first quest, then they'd have to create new characters like all the time, and it would
be awesome.
Wouldn't be that much fun.
Such as Vor goes to corrupted, or Alvi, Mutal Salvi.
I think now that
I don't know. To me, unless
you think about it,
no, he still lives. That's why he has.
No, like he dies and then gets resurrected. What happens in the boss fight with Vor and Alad are the only two canon ones. Well, and Vahek, I guess, because he doesn't die. So
he runs away every time. I don't know about this Nightmare thing. I'm gonna look into that. I've never run the Nightmare one. I just literally like a month ago finally got through the regular raid.
As far as cutscenes go, the only difference is at the end when you take him down, when you finish him off, a cutscene plays where it has a close up of his, like half of his body, not showing his face or anything, and then it shows all 8 of the Tenno, or between 4 and 8 of the Tenno, standing around in victory. But that's really
it's not.
But
much.
It does also play the same animation of him flying up into the sky. So. Design flaw or story, we don't know. We don't know what happens in DE's head.
No, that's
But anyways, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, uh, on the golem, any thoughts on what? I guess we could sort of move on to something else after a bit, but any thoughts on what Jordas meant when he said he lied about Precept 44 at the end there? And that there were so many more.
Precept 44, I think, is just like there's that whole like sci-fi thing that a lot of sci-fi stories use, where if you hear a distress signal, you have to go. It's like a space law or something.
Yeah, and
I think the precepts are just like laws among cephalons. So when he was saying I lied about Precept 44, it's that he wasn't really like stranded ship in distress. He was just making it up to lure you guys there or something like that.
Yeah.
Earlier during the quest, Ordis does say that Precept 44 demands he help a cephalon in distress, something like that. So yeah, that would.
Some might say that that line implied that Precept 44 didn't even exist in the first place, but then again, we have this whole thing with Ordis, so
Ordis reacts to Precept 44 as if it was a thing. I almost kind of want to think that whole thing might be talking about other cephalons that were lured there and were consumed by the infestation as well, to lead to more golems, at least more ships that were consumed to lead by more golems. Hence the infestation saying there are so many more. Or...
yeah.
It's a possibility. Because golem does...
Now, would that imply that there's more than one Jordas? Or
that is another question,
and that there's more than one...
Theoretically, there could be more than one Jordas. He's an AI program. It could be like a set personality sort of thing. Obviously,
and by extent, more than one Ordis.
Aye, and that's another thing. It's possible, though some artists seem to suggest that whole new Strange Quest suggests that Ordis is antique and sort of unique at this point, but it's very unclear. We'll probably have to wait for the raid to really see how that plans out. I'm kind of hoping the raid kind of continues that storyline a little bit.
Oh, it will.
Just kind of rehash it, but
because like the whole point of the raid was supposed to come first, I'm pretty sure, but they didn't have time and they didn't have it all fleshed out, so they just released the boss for now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which is, I think, much better. I was much relieved when they said that we would have a regular boss golem too.
Too bad it's terrible.
Yep. Bolt Sponge once again.
It's the worst boss in the game.
I
was so disappointed.
Well, it lit an Arcwing boss.
Yeah, but all you do is shoot him in the butt for 10 minutes.
It needed a few
and he has
more abilities, I think. But personally,
he has 3 attacks.
The scope of it.
Yeah, the problem is there's so many good elements fully, so I hope they at least use him well in the raid.
Yeah. Like it's a very watered down, very short boss fight. I'm praying this is the start of
considering we're supposed to go into his guts in the raid. He doesn't look nearly big enough for that.
Definitely, like we could probably fit like 2 Tenno inside of his stomach without there wouldn't be much room to move around.
Yeah.
Aye.
Oh well, we shall see.
We shall see. Sorry. I don't know anything more.
Well, there's really not much. There really isn't that much to the quest. I mean,
other than that,
at this point, it's only like
crack cocaine for the infested, apparently.
Well, we knew that since we had the Juggernaut first come around. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
It also kind of maybe could be argued it adds some credence to the Tenno as energy thing, which is a theory I hate, but I admit is the most likely one. But
what do you mean?
When what's his name? When Gollum calls us, well, first he calls us his flesh. That whole thing, which would seem to hint that we are that our frames are made of inert technocyte, which is the theory, which is something I think
or the
is pretty likely.
Themselves are somehow infested, which I disagree with, especially given the line I think you're about to say, which is
yeah, where he calls us useless hollow shells, which
and
is makes me think that we are just empty frames of technocyte with void energies controlling them inside.
and
Which brings
that
us
goes
on
back
to the second topic of the day. That brings us to the second topic of the day, actually, with the whole moon thing and our screens
Yes.
flashing with text and our frames rebooting.
Yes, the ominous loading screen message.
So if you guys aren't going to object, I think we should just hop right into that.
Not at all, not at all. Let's carry over to that, because
Go for it.
there's a lot of unknowns to cover here.
I should probably bring up the ominous message mega thread on the stream and the
Oh yeah, it's
another
there.
tab for. Okay, so I suggest you like separate them like half screen, so we can show everything here.
Good idea, actually. I hate when it does this. Oh. Crap, hurry. Alright, there is the message itself, followed by many of the various translations, because, as I said, we have no idea what we're working with here. This harkens back to when we were first starting out with the lore. We first had the very basic codex entries. We had no connections to anything. There was no weren't many possible links. I have that same problem here looking at any of this. I don't know how this connects, because we don't know what triggers this. We don't know if this has a trigger, if it's just random.
Seems random to me.
That seems to be the general consensus going on. It's just utterly random. No one has any idea if it is any sort of criteria you have to have met, because basically it's been confirmed at this point. It's not connected to the Oculist.
Nope.
Which...
Well, actually, the fact that it's rebooting in the first place might have something to do with it.
Well, I'm not connected
sentience?
to the Oculus as in you scanned it, and that's what starts prompting these to show up, I meant. It might still be connected to the sentience, and I'll get your thought on that later, but,
As in, you can get them before you scan the Oculist.
Exactly. You guys have any thoughts on this at all? Or
What I meant by the Oculus meant... When I said the Oculus, I meant like the sentience in general.
Yeah.
Doing something to the
Yeah, that could
connection.
That's probably likely.
And that's possibly it's a possibility. There's a lot of possibilities here. I'm not gonna bother reading this out loud. I don't want to mess with my throat here.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Let me bring this tab up first.
Just whichever one you want to use, because there are like several different translations here.
The bottom one seems to be the best translation. That second one just is just a bunch of mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, I just like the second one. The first one's also kind of pretty good as it goes.
Anyway, here's what the text said. I don't think anyone's seen any other text. I mean, it'd be hard to notice if something different popped up.
Yeah, and that is a question that ran through my mind. Is there different text going on? The best clue I could think would be just sort of see if the line layout is a touch different. If any of the lines are shorter or longer, and try to take a picture then. But yeah, it's very difficult to tell. So at this point, we can just really, I guess, have to assume this is the only one we have to go on.
Anyway, here's what the text says when it starts quote rebooting your frame. Void link severed. Reason foreign carrier detected. Origin unknown. Suspect tracking signal. Reinitiating dipolar connection on naval carrier. Is that bow or bow? I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Could be either, I think.
Let's go with bow. Bow in standby for sync and sync. Motion compensation complete. Selenic lensing locked. Somatic control established. Margulas?
Yeah.
Am I pronouncing that right?
Best I can figure, no one knows what that word means.
In the meantime, let's see if anything comes up. Margulas implementation intact. EVM status nominal, and the person who got that translation thinks it could be a reference to eye vocal movement.
Alright. The other possibility...
Or, I mean...
Yeah, the Glasgow Comma scale, from what I could find, neurological state that aims at reliable, blah, 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 blah. It's on the screen right now, pause if you want. The other possibility is the error vector magnitude, which is just the quality of performance between signal receiving and transmitting.
Then last two lines are war platform awaiting sync, initializing synaptic overlay, ... good night, sweet angel. Just to chime in right here, the war platform line, there was I did see a thread that was theorizing with the concept art shown at Comic-Con 2 days ago that showed
right the... I just got it up on the street. You can keep talking.
Yeah, I'm just seeing if it shows up for me. I mean, it's really slow right now. Anywho, anyways, what was shown is there's a figure standing on this circular platform, looking up at these holograms circling him up above. And someone pointed out that the holograms being shown looked very similar to Loki, Rhino Prime, Excalibur Prime, yeah, that's the picture. Ember Prime and Frost Prime.
Aye.
Not in that order, obviously.
Yeah, it's...
I theorized in a thread that I made that it looked and sounded very similar to the description of the Judgment Room of the Orkin Executors.
Yeah, yes. That's the one I got from it. I didn't see the whole Tenno thing. I'll have to look at it again, though.
Because where the guy is standing down there in the middle could be a very light shade of green, the green being described in the synthesis. Then now somebody pointed out before I saw that thread, I thought it could be like Orkin up here in the holograms, but now that they said it looks like the helmets, it could be that those whole column things that they're projecting out of are holding the Tenno inside, and the projected image is the Warframe currently being used by it.
Or it could simply be some kind of museum. It could be a multitude of things.
Oh yeah, we don't know anything.
Oh yeah, we know Warframe lore. We don't know shit. Yeah. And even then, that may just be concept art. Might not make it to the final thing. It may just be artists having some fun with the designs. It's really unknown. A lot of speculation has come up based on that, though, especially in some regards to whether or not the operator and the Tenno are separate individuals, and...
Oh, I don't think I said this yet, but the platform the guy is standing on somebody speculated was the war platform itself. Yeah. I don't think I said that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were you saying?
Most recently... Hold on, what's his name again?
What?
Most recently, Empty Devil made a post talking about that perhaps what we're seeing in here is a way for the Orkin operator to control Tenno from afar, to control them and...
this thread. He was talking about how when Oris is addressing the operator and in the lines that you are the Tenno, you are the operator, he's not saying that they are one and the same, that the Tenno is the Tenno, and then there's the operator, entirely separate entity. That's what this guy is theorizing.
That's a cool idea.
It is cool. Kind of raises a question about how the heck those guys would still be around. But
personally, I think this theory is kind of out there. It seems really, really, really speculative because I wouldn't be able to come up with that on the fly. It doesn't seem like something I could get from that. I mean, it could be possible. We don't know until episode 18, but
a lot of things could be possible at this point. The thread did kind of lead me to my own speculation that perhaps what we're looking at here isn't an operator controlling the Tenno, but rather an operator guiding the Tenno, a mission operator. He has his set team of Tenno he looks after, sort of like what Lotus does for all Tenno now. This would be something we could see repeated.
Lotus.
All over
Lotus. operator. Wait a minute here. We're supposed to meet Lotus in that quest.
That'd be weird. Well, something I just thought about that I didn't really think about when I first read the translation is that it's clearly indicating that whatever is on the other side of that whole like transfer thing is controlling us uh, with their mind, because it says somatic link. And if you don't know what soma is the idea of the non-physical mind entity and soul that can be kind of like projected outwards. It's like what everything that makes up you that isn't physical. So if it's saying like somatic link and that it was severed from the Tenno, then that would probably indicate that add further strength that something is indeed connecting to the Tenno telepathically or something like that.
Or perhaps that the Tenno themselves are connecting to the Warframe.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. And again, that doesn't...
So you're saying that the operator is... So you're saying that the operator is going through the Warframe to control the Tenno?
Or something like that, yeah.
Okay.
As far as I knew, Soma only referred to body, so, this is actually kind of interesting, especially given sort of the theory I'm probably backing a little too much lately, that the Tenno are these consciousnesses, these souls that are controlling the Warframes by inhabiting them, possessing them, sort of. So, might be something there, might not, but honestly, looking at this thing, it feels kind of all over the place. I was talking with Toxic before it started, and especially when it's starting out, Voidling Severed, Foreign Character Detective, Tracking Signal, Redeciding, Dipolar Connection on Naval Carrier, could be bow, in standby for sink and sink check, which kind of makes me think a ship. Like this is some ship coming into dock. And I kind of moved over into a few different theories here that the three theories I think to be most possible about this. That's... This does have something to do with the Oculus, which probably is sort of, what's the one looking for here? Debunked at this point. That potentially, Margulis is a sentient name. I looked it up. It shares the word Margulis, at least in one spelling, shares a Hebrew origin that the Ta also comes from. In this case, Margulis means pearl, and if you translate that out with just...
That's interesting.
Yeah, if just...
There's a lot of things in Warframe that share Hebrew origins or Sanskrit.
Yeah.
I really love that line.
Really
such as the line, such as those lines being talked about in the what was it, Stolen Dreams and New Strange Quests.
Yeah,
from the Mayan Book of Creation.
Or something like that. Popol Vuh. I'm probably wrecking that pronunciation. And sort of the last theory here, the guy talks about, again, that kind of systems restart and whatnot. And he ends with the idea that this was like a last memory of us before we went into cryosleep. Which, to me, really fits with that final line, "Good night, sweet angel."
I theorize that could be a control phrase of some sort, much like how in Bioshock, Atlas would control Jax through the phrase, "Would you kindly?" in nearly every sentence he spoke to him. But we're only seeing it once here ever spoken, so easily could be debunked, but you never know.
Alright. Yeah, it is possible, because, like I was saying, we have no idea what any of this is going on about. We have zero link to anything here. Hopefully we'll get more, and hopefully the ideal situation here, I think, would be as updates come now between now and U18, that more of these start showing up. Either they replace the one we have, or they just start being randomly generated instead of it. And we can kind of be able to paint a picture as we translate that through more of these. It was also a theory a while
Yes.
back.
Oh, you had a long pause. I was like, what?
I'm just trying to think here. There's also a theory postulated in the thread that maybe this has something to do with the sentience arrival, which goes back to that idea that Margulis might be a sentience name. Moreover, though, I think it does have to do with that, whatever her name was. Last name, Margulis, not at all spelled like it's here on the screen at the moment. That had to do a lot with... Hold on, her name's... Lynn Margulis and her contributions on evolution, symbiosis, and endosymbiosis, which again points back to some kind of link between what's ever going on here. There's some kind of symbiosis.
Well, the line evolution is super prominent in the game, everywhere, on everything.
Yeah. And that is
Jesus, that's a lot of notes, dude. That's a lot of notes.
It's mostly just copy pastes from the forums. You can see the timestamps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, you wrote all this down?
No, you should have seen my notes about the Tenno clans. I had ideas then. I'm stumped here. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm looking at this, I have no idea. When it first came out, I had no idea. I have no idea what connect to any of this. I am at a legit roadblock for ideas here. Help me.
Anyway, let's move on to the moon itself. I saw a theory running around about it being like the Oregon stole the moon from somewhere, and it's like not even near Earth, and it's like in the void or something. But I didn't really think that was possible, because I think I saw one of the concept arts was it actually showed the Earth in the background.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, so that theory is debunked immediately. So let's not even get into that.
This is where the concept art information goes at this point. Actually, it did. Hold on. What was it? What was it exactly?
What did it have to do with?
It had to do with sort of the void portals and everything being sort of connected. That might just be rampant it's probably just rampant speculation of mine because of the whole void blowing up business that we'll be getting some point. But perhaps they might be reworking the void as it is, or at least the Orkin towers as it is. Maybe moving them out of the void and from a sort of lore perspective, having them be in real space, still accessed with the keys, which might open up the possibility that what's going on with like the Tesseract beams and whatnot isn't so much opening up into the void, but opening up these like these little wormholes from one spot to another, from these grand entrances, the Orkin's dwelling places, like on Earth or Ceres or Mars or wherever, that go into these otherwise inaccessible Orkin towers. But again, that's rampant speculation based on a very speculative idea about what is going to happen to the void, the future. Which, again, D has been fairly vague on, other than it will blow up.
I still think blow up isn't quite literal. I think they're just doing away with the whole key system that we're currently using. And the way that I kind of understood that they were describing it is that the void, like they're basically going to make it so that
it's integrated more into the star chart.
Yeah, and that prime parts will come from multiple locations and not just the exact same void tile set, and that the void tile set will be reserved for like a rare chance to get in, and it'll have like extra high loot chance or something like that. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah. The idea I've always had for the void is that it's sort of Orkin derelict dragon key type thing, where you go to a certain map with a certain tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 key thing. You find the portal on the planet and whatever kind of mission type you have, and then you go into the void and do the mission there for a little bit and get a reward depending on how many people brought that key with you. But, yeah, that's how I would do it. Probably not how DEs do it. That's not really lore safe or anything. looking at the concept art again, it reminded me of a very, very old theory I had in regards to the Orkin that's probably incredibly debunked right now. And that's what being that the Orkin were the prime warframes. They were the first Tenno. They are cold and gold emperors, these beautiful, ornate warframes. That's really basic.
Nah.
Especially now we've seen the Council of Executors and whatnot. But, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say no.
Yeah. I debunked the theory a long time ago for a reason. I'm just...
How long ago exactly was this
like,
theory?
half a year, I think. It's not a full year. Yeah, very old theory, very dumb idea, especially now we have seen the Council of Executors and all that. They've been described to us.
Yeah.
Again, though, this does bring up the idea that at least some Tenno had some sort of high place in Organ society. We don't really think about that, but even the Lorest, during the Corrupted Ancient Synthesis, apparently outranked the Daxmonger, and she was technically not an Orcan, as we've sort of been had them described to us. She was one of the slave races. Like, not quite like the Grenier, but, basically something that was looked on, hated, and reviled by the Organ whenever she wasn't helping out.
Well, it is confirmed in game already that the Tenno weren't used like exclusively for war against the Sentients. Like they were used as high security for like the what's it called?
Yeah.
The Executors. That's it.
Yeah, the Congress of Executors, Council of Executors. What are the other?
And they.
Wait,
Yeah.
did they use both terms, Council and Congress?
They have. I
No,
think
only
it's
Congress.
A mistake going on
I
here.
think only Congress, right?
No, the Imperator Scientana, I believe it is, mentions the Council of Executors. I choose the recent Congress, though.
Design flaws abundant.
I
Well, they still get spelling errors every now and then with their
I
icon entries and stuff.
I kind of blame a lot of this on the programmers. I like to think that it's fine when it gets to the guys, but as they're working on everything else, they type these things in, they get things wrong. But,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'd probably be incredibly mean to all programmers at that right now. My account's gonna be completely deleted for this.
Nope. Anyways, I got nothing else, guys. What about you?
I had honestly thought this
I
would...
don't think it's like unexpected. I don't think it's unexpected though, because it's like both like the Jordas quest had very little to begin with, and the moon thing has very little anyway. It's only concept art, and we're going off of that one message, so it's not unexpected.
Well, are there any other topics you guys want to cover? I mean, there's shitloads of stuff in game we can to go on about.
Well, there's something you can do in 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's
that
the problem. 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Grisemi Valkyr?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. When are we getting her power rework that they talked about?
Didn't we? We already got that.
Really? It's different when you use it? I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, we got it in 17.5, I believe, when we got the skin.
Yeah, they changed how stereo works and all that.
Oh, they did. Huh.
They
Alright,
changed that and how rip line works. I think they only sped it up, and that's it.
Oh, no. Not like not
What are you
like
talking about?
they described that when you use the Grisemi Valkyr skin, that there would be actual like slightly new power set different from regular Valkyr to go with the fact that she's.
No, I don't think so.
They
did that.
They talked about it, but they haven't done it yet.
I don't think. Why would they ever do that? That's pay to win right there.
I know. I don't know. They described it however they talked about it, but they were kind of talking about
Well,
it
I
in
mean,
terms
you're
of...
not the only one that thought they meant a new something gameplay would come with the skin. You're not the only one who thought that, but
Yeah, it seems like a
think
very
that's just a
bad idea to try and
I,
do something like that.
I think it was just a case of miscommunication.
The way they talked about it wasn't so much in talk with the Gersemi skin, it was in talk of how they would address Prime version of her should it ever come out.
Oh.
And they mentioned that a rework of her powers would be a thing. They said it wouldn't be too functionally different, but it would change some things. And then they said that they would also apply it to their Gersemi skin, probably, so that way you could have the skin to get that slight power change, or you could just get the Prime version. I don't know. It seemed like a bad idea to me as well, but they did mention...
Well, if they're going to put it on both, then... Wait, that wouldn't make sense then.
Well...
If they put it on the skin too, and you can use the skin on the Prime, kind of makes it redundant.
At the most, with the Prime version, I think that Hysteria should have a different weapon and should have a different stance to go along with it. I can see the logic behind that translating over to Valkyrie Gersemi, to that, but... Because it's a very minor thing, especially if it's just like a different stance and whatnot to it. Something less feral and more refined. But, overall, I think it is a bad idea to try and make a skin, just a skin, mind you, alter how the thing works. Now, of course, different vocal
They did that
effects.
with the vocal effects. Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Oh yes,
they already did the whole thing with the skins for the Axe skin, the Manticore skin, and the other one.
Yes,
whatever it was.
Still, and if they added Valkyrie Gersemi to the alert rotation because of that, I'll be okay with it. I'll just say flat out, I will be fine with that then. Completely and totally okay.
I can't recall there ever being a 150 plat
Exactly, and that's why
thing on the alerts.
I'm just saying they do that, and to give it things, that'll be cool with me. Otherwise,
it's kind of funny. We just changed topics and became 10 o'clock for a moment there.
If I knew what any of the guys on there sounded like, I would do an impression of them. I think one of them is British, right? Very bad British impression I'm doing right now.
Aren't they both British?
I don't know.
I haven't watched it in a while.
I think maybe. Of course, I just killed our entire British audience right now, so...
Implying there was an audience to begin with. I know there's one guy for sure in here.
We got one. We got one.
Yeah.
Hello, Angus T.
And assuming you both have the stream open as well, that would be the other three.
Can you really blame the schedule for this thing? I mean, what is it even? And I messed up royally when I posted the Reddit thing, so...
Yeah. Anywho,
Laurel clock.
That's good. Alright.
Yeah, but as Valkyrie Semi goes, I don't think they should change Hysteria's stance. When Valkyrie Prime comes out and they give her new vocal effects, if they give her new vocal effects, bring those over to Valkyrie.
No, dude, don't watch your own stream. Don't watch your own stream. That's not how you want to do that. It's gonna be like a repeat image on the back in the back.
I have it paused
forever.
just for that. I have it paused just for that.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yes, I had it unpaused for a little bit, so I don't know what happened there for that little bit. But yeah, but yeah, I just don't.
So if we're done, I think we'll just give him the 100 plat and be done with that.
Yeah, I guess you had a PC account. I'm guessing Agnes. Agnius.
Angus.
Aganos.
Mr. T, I pity the fool who wasn't here to take your plat giveaway from you.
It'll be a while before he responds, stream delay and all that.
Stream delay from you and all that. I'd probably scared him off with my Mr. T impression.
Nope, he's still in here. I can see by the viewer count. Yep. So yeah. Actually, I'll just check that right now, since he isn't answering yet.
I will say the one thing about the Gersemi, whatever it's pronounced, skin is that the helmets on it and the regular Valkyrie don't match up. They just don't.
He is on PC.
Well, congratulations on your brand new 100 plat, courtesy of being the only person here to watch us
Tell your friends.
ramble on for an hour.
Tell
100
your
plat for
friends.
sitting through our draw.
I think he came in like the last 15 minutes
He
or so.
did.
So
Whatever.
well, whatever. He stuck through to the end, so he gets the plat. He didn't just leave because it was boring. Nobody was here. He gets rewarded for his dedication.
There's nothing more disheartening to see the viewer count go from 4 to 5 and then back down to 4.
And then to realize that the other 3 are yourselves.
Or us, yeah.
We're
Well,
just
on
such
the
interesting people.
on the bright side, though, it does raise us out of that little maelstrom of 1 viewers in the bottom of the Twitch thing where it's showing all the people streaming Warframe.
Oh, that's true. So we're at the top of Warframe right now, aren't
Nope,
we?
Fate is right now.
Fate.
Of course she is.
Yep. Anywho, I think that's all that we got. I
That
mean,
is all we have for today. The vlog will be up probably tomorrow sometime. Until then, this has been me being incredibly slow.